Hello fellow kaiju fans, it is IGPTV here, and today I'm going to be talking about Godzilla and Kong. Godzilla X Kong. Godzilla crossed Kong. Whatever it's called. I'm not going to be talking about the title today, but it is a little strange, I guess. It's a bit generic, yes, but as long as there is a new empire in the movie, I don't think it's that big of a deal. I'm not gonna be reacting to the trailer either, no. He can talk! He can talk! He can talk! Today, what I'm really gonna be talking about in this video is about how people don't like the new Kong. I get it. I get it. It's hard to follow up a movie like Godzilla King of the Monsters where the world's gonna end. It's all over. It's all done for in that movie. In Godzilla King of the Monsters, a giant 500-foot tall three-headed dragon creating massive hurricanes is terraforming the world with an army of monsters. Godzilla X Kong. After King of the Monsters, Godzilla vs. Kong worked because it was pretty different in of itself. Whereas Godzilla King of the Monsters was a sequel to Godzilla 2014. You know, 2014 you have monsters attack. Godzilla King of the Monsters, monsters attack and almost destroy the world. Godzilla vs. Kong was like setting up a new dynamic, so it needed to start fresh in a way. So they could move on a bit to this new movie where stakes need to be higher than that one. It was almost like a refresh. While the stakes still were high in Godzilla vs. Kong, they weren't quite nearly as high. And plus, the film still felt fresh because it was Godzilla and Kong fighting, and eventually they do team up to fight Mechagodzilla, which is something we haven't seen before. That's what you do with the sequel. You make it something you haven't seen before. So the logical conclusion in the human brain is, alright, well, Godzilla vs. Kong had Mechagodzilla, right? Alright, we need to top that somehow. Godzilla King of the Monsters had Ghidorah. We need to top that somehow. The Godzilla fan brain then takes you to spacegodzilla, destoroyah, stuff like that. Cause those are big, incredibly intimidating monsters that have potential to do worse stuff than Ghidorah. However, the new villain is another Kong. It's an orangutan.
Hayden is a weakling, ding-dong, dumb ball pudding head.
Yeah, I see the disappointment, I guess, if you're expecting some big crustacean demon or Godzilla from outer space. Not to mention, we've already gotten a primate before, which is literally Kong. So is it lame? Is this new monkey lame? As a Godzilla fan, shocker, I know. Kong's always been kind of boring to me. I've never been the biggest fan of Kong. I mean, he's literally just a giant monkey. That's all he is. Kong, of course, he bears significance in cinema history. His tale is a beautiful story of love forbidden, but that's really all he's got going for him. He's a big gorilla and he's got a good story. Monsterverse takes that story away from him and now he's just a big gorilla. Godzilla vs. Kong definitely made that better for someone like me by making him gigantic and giving him an axe. Of course I like that. Especially as an Ultraman fan on top of things. This is the kind of monster you get in Ultraman versus a gorilla. This versus gorilla. Obviously I'm gonna prefer something more interesting than that. I definitely see where people are coming from, where they're disappointed. However, there's some theories. Who's to say it's just a monkey? Who's to say that's all there is to it? Who's to say it's even just him? You know, KDM, our old boy, Twitter, Instagram, we all know KDM, surely. We've all heard of him at this point. The most reliable film journalist on the internet, you might have heard. Well, I mean, he is pretty reliable, because let's look at one of his posts in the past. A bunch of emojis and a few words. Oh, what could that be? Well, if you look deeper, you'll find some things. He posted this on January 17th, and analyzing it, as we've done, you know, we're Godzilla fans. That's what we do. We analyze stuff like this, like crazy, like it's unhealthy. Someone in the comments, you know, went through it and said, oh, alright, there's gonna be another Kong. Okay, January 17th, KDM's already talking about a new Kong. And there's some other stuff you could take out of this too. The movie seems like it's gonna be about exploring that good old Hollow Earth. Going through it, learning all about, we're gonna see it. That's where that whole thing with the origins comes from. We're gonna be learning about the origins of that whole place. And they stumble across this new Kong, it seems. It seems like, hey, hello new Kong. Obviously, the theory is more than 3 titans, okay? could be more than 3 of more Kong. That could be Lanky Kong and some buddies. You know, I got myself a little theory, right? Maybe there's whole other factions of Kongs down in the Hollow Earth. You know, there's the Gorilla Kong that we know and his whole family. There's the Orangutan Kong that we're gonna meet, probably. His whole family. Who knows, there might be Baboon Kong. Kong with a big red booty. There could be all sorts of stuff like that. And you know, this new Kong we're meeting could be the king of those Kongs. Who knows? This is just me spitting out ideas. Just to prove you don't know what we're gonna get, right? The lore goes Godzilla was attacking the old Kong species because they were trying to, like, enslave monsters. Who's to say these guys didn't do that? Who's to say while Godzilla was gone, they didn't take up a whole army? Who's to say the skull crawlers that took out our Kong's race weren't from this guy, right? This Kong could be the leader of an army of other Kongs and an army of monsters. Well, that sounds a little more interesting than just another monkey, right? That sounds like it's upping the stakes a little bit from last time, right? Sounds like it's upping the stakes to around Ghidorah levels, but in a different way than just, you know, Ghidorah trying to terraform the Earth, right? That makes a little more sense, makes things a little more interesting. Maybe he's not as lame as you might suspect. Of course, I could just be saying false facts, you know. I could be making stuff up about the monsterverse and putting it on the internet. Not the first time I've done that. There is a fake Godzilla in the movie. But if I was right, it also wouldn't be the first time there. Whatever it is, the stakes are gonna be higher. You don't make a sequel where the stakes aren't higher. If this new monkey is coming in, it's not gonna be Mechagodzilla 2, but instead of a Mechagodzilla, he's a big Kong. Who's to say he's even big? Who's to say he's not actually smaller than the two of them? Exactly. Nothing proves this. We know so little. So stop writing him off because, oh, it's an orangutan. Oh, then the Kong's a gorilla. That's kind of lame. They're kind of similar. God, you Godzilla fans are hypocrites. You can't scream and shout for Space Godzilla, but the second Space Kong walks in, you sit down? This has been GPTV. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and check the links in the description. And I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.
Boner.
This is so dumb.